Hi, I'm Amelia Lee, the architect behind Undercover Architect, and we're going to be looking now at Ausbuild's Ellison 31 and the upper floor plan, and some simple modifications that I believe will improve the functionality of this floor plan. Firstly, we're going to look at the bedroom 2, which is here. Now, Ausbuild's floor plan had the bed furnished against this wall, which meant that as you arrived through the leisure space, you walked in on the head of the bed. Now, this floor plan upstairs is challenged by the way that you have to circulate through the leisure space to get into this bedroom. And interestingly, the leisure space here, the width that's measured here, is actually the width from here to here. Now, that's not really what the width of that room is, because you will need to circulate along there and have some hallway space to make that room work. So just be aware of that when you're thinking about how you'll furnish that room. But you can imagine, as you're sitting there watching the TV, this room doesn't have a lot of acoustic or visual privacy. One of the ways that we can improve the visual privacy, at least, is to change where the bed is furnished in that room. When you arrive in a bedroom, you really should walk in on the foot of the bed. You can see this is being achieved in these other bedrooms. Arrive on the foot of the bed, arrive on the foot of the bed, arrive on the foot of the bed. When you arrive at the head of the bed, which was what you were previously doing in this room when the bed was on this wall, it immediately makes the room feel smaller because you have to navigate around a piece of furniture. You can imagine when you arrive, you're then having to walk around to the other side of the room. You're also looking across a piece of furniture to look out, so it makes the room feel constrained, and it means that if somebody's lying in bed, you can see their face and their head, which immediately doesn't give a sense of privacy like it does if you're not seeing their face or their head, as you would be if you walked in on the foot. What I've proposed that you do in this, and this requires some adjustment of the window on this side wall, is you create a high slot instead of a full window. So the slot could still have a sill of say 15 or 1600 millimeters and be high enough that you can put a bed in underneath it, but low enough that you can reach up to open it. You still want to have an operable window, so you still want to have a window that opens, because with two windows in a room that open on different walls, it means that it encourages natural ventilation in that room really well. And so you then can put the bed in underneath it, and it means that you arrive in on the foot of the bed. You immediately create a much greater sense of openness in that room because you can see through, you're not having to navigate around a piece of furniture, and you can see that when you're sitting in that space, it gives some more visual privacy because all you can see when the door is open is the foot of the bed and not the head. Other adjustments that I would make to this floor plan, and I've not drawn them in because I think you can visualize them fairly easily. You can see there's a fair bit of open space in front of the linen here. What is possible to do is to actually slide that linen forward so that it comes and sits flush with the front of the stair balustrade. This would then be full height wall, and you would have your linen sitting in that zone there, and you would extend the walk-in robe so that it goes to here. And that walk-in robe then could become that big, with walk-in robe running through there. It means that you would extend the length of that space by about 600 millimeters, which I always think it's great to have extra robe space, particularly in the walk-in robe for the master. The door here then could also be slid down a little bit just so it's off the head of your bed. It's always nice when you lie in your bed not to roll over and be able to see straight into your messy spaces, and even with the door shut you kind of know what's on the other side of it. So if you slide that down a little bit, that'll give a little bit more room and privacy to that space. I'd also potentially look at some windows above here, again so that you can get some cross ventilation. There are some windows through there. And I'd also look at whether you can put a high slot in that window, in that bedroom as well, again to get some cross ventilation in that bedroom. Those are the simple modifications that I'd propose that you make to Ausbuild's Ellison 31 upper floor plan to improve the functionality and practicality of the space.